Montreal is one of those cities that feels familiar and surprising at the same time. It is a major North American metropolis, but its rhythm, language, architecture, food, and cultural identity set it apart from almost every other large city on the continent. It is the largest city in Quebec, the second largest city in Canada, and one of the largest urban centers in North America. Yet Montreal is not simply defined by size. Its importance comes from the way it sits between worlds, French and English, Old and New, European influence and North American scale, local neighborhood culture and global ambition. To understand Montreal, you have to look at how a settlement founded in the 1600s became a city of millions, a cultural capital, a student hub, a festival city, and one of the most important French-speaking places outside Europe. Montreal's story begins in 1642, when it was founded as Ville-Marie, meaning City of Mary. The name reflected the religious origins and ambitions of the early French settlement. But over time, the city became known by a different name, connected not to a person or a church, but to the landscape itself. Montreal takes its name from Mount Royal, the triple-peaked mountain around which the early settlement developed. That mountain remains one of the city's defining landmarks. It is not a towering peak in the dramatic alpine sense, but it gives Montreal a geographic center of gravity. The city grew around it, looked toward it, and eventually built one of its most beloved public spaces on it. In a city famous for language and culture, even the name Montreal is a reminder that geography came first. The city is centered on the island of Montreal, which gives it a distinct physical identity. Unlike many metropolitan areas that spread outward from an inland downtown without clear boundaries, Montreal's core is shaped by water. The island location has influenced transportation, trade, settlement patterns, and neighborhood development for centuries. Around the main island are several smaller peripheral islands, the largest of which is Isle Bizard. Montreal is also positioned within a broader Canadian geography that helps explain its role. It lies about 196 kilometers east of Ottawa, the national capital, and about 258 kilometers southwest of Quebec City, the provincial capital. This puts Montreal between political centers while remaining a major center in its own right. It is close enough to power to matter nationally, but distinctive enough to have developed its own identity. Today, Montreal is a city of impressive scale. In the 2021 Canadian census, the city itself had a population of 1,762,949. Its metropolitan population was much larger, at 4,291,732, making it the second largest metropolitan area in Canada after Toronto. These numbers matter because Montreal is not just a historic city or a cultural symbol, it is a vast urban region where millions of people live, work, study, commute, create, and build businesses. The metropolitan area includes many communities beyond the central city, tied together through employment, education, transport, and culture. Like other major cities, Montreal's influence extends far past municipal boundaries. When people talk about Montreal, they are often referring both to the city proper and to the larger metropolitan organism that surrounds it. Language is one of the most important parts of Montreal's identity. French is the official language of the city, and Montreal is the largest primarily French-speaking city in the Americas. That fact alone makes it extraordinary in a continent where English and Spanish dominate many major urban centers. In 2021, 85.7% of the population of the city of Montreal considered themselves fluent in French, while 90.2% could speak French across the metropolitan area. But Montreal is not simply French-speaking, it is also deeply bilingual. About 58.5% of the population could speak both French and English. This creates a unique daily reality. Street signs, schools, workplaces, media, and neighborhood conversations reflect the city's layered linguistic character. Montreal's bilingualism is not just a statistic, it is part of how the city thinks, works, and presents itself to the world. For much of Canadian history, Montreal was the country's commercial capital. Its position, population, port connections, institutions, and industries made it a major center of national economic life. But in the 1970s, Toronto surpassed Montreal in both population and economic strength. This shift changed Canada's urban hierarchy and reshaped how Montreal was perceived. Yet being surpassed did not mean becoming irrelevant. Montreal remained a major economic center, just with a different profile. Instead of being defined only by finance and commerce, it developed and maintained strength across a wide range of sectors. Its modern economy includes aerospace, transport, finance, pharmaceuticals, technology, design, education, tourism, food, fashion, and video game development. Montreal's story is not one of decline, but of adaptation, a former commercial capital that reinvented itself as a diverse, creative, globally connected metropolis. One of Montreal's strongest modern identities is as a city of culture. It is a center for art, literature, film and television, music, design, food, and fashion. These are not separate decorations added onto the city, they are part of its economic and social engine. Montreal's cultural life benefits from its bilingual and French-speaking character, its universities, its neighborhood density, and its long tradition of public festivals and creative institutions. In 2006, Montreal was named a UNESCO City of Design, a recognition that speaks to the importance of design in its built environment, creative industries, and urban culture. The city also has a major role in video game development, a field where creativity, technology, and global markets intersect. Montreal's cultural reputation comes from this combination. It is both a place of everyday street-level creativity and a serious international production hub. Montreal also occupies an important place in world affairs and international organization. It is home to the headquarters of the International Civil Aviation Organization, a United Nations specialized agency that helps set standards for international air navigation and aviation safety. That presence connects Montreal to global transportation and diplomacy in a very practical way. The city has also been ranked as a global city, reflecting its role in networks of business, culture, education, and international institutions. Rankings can change over time, and they never tell the whole story, but they do show how Montreal is understood beyond Canada. It is not merely a regional capital or a tourist destination. It is a node in global systems, aviation, education, technology, culture, design, and international exchange. For a city built on an island, Montreal's reach is remarkably wide. Montreal's global image was dramatically shaped by major international events. In 1967, the city hosted the International and Universal Exposition, better known as Expo 67. This World's Fair became a defining moment in Montreal's modern history, presenting the city as ambitious, cosmopolitan, and ready to take its place on the global stage. Less than a decade later, Montreal hosted the 1976 Summer Olympics, making it the only Canadian city to have hosted the Summer Games. Hosting the Olympics is never just about sports. It is about infrastructure, image, urban planning, national pride, and international attention. These events left physical and symbolic legacies in the city. They helped brand Montreal as a place capable of welcoming the world, even as they also brought the challenges that come with large-scale urban projects. If there is one area where Montreal turns urban life into spectacle, it is festivals. The city hosts the Canadian Grand Prix of Formula One, bringing global motorsport attention to the island each year. It is also home to the Montreal International Jazz Festival, considered the largest jazz festival in the world. The Just for Laughs Festival has been known as the largest comedy festival in the world, while Les Francos de Montreal is the largest French-language music festival in the world. These events are more than entertainment. They transform streets, fill public spaces, attract visitors, and reinforce the city's identity as a gathering place. Montreal's long winters make its warm-weather public life feel especially intense. When festival season arrives, the city does not simply host events, it becomes an event. Montreal is also widely recognized as a university city. It is regularly ranked among the 10 best cities in the world to be a university student in the QS World University Rankings. This reputation comes from a combination of academic institutions, urban culture, relative accessibility, bilingual life, and a strong social scene. Student cities need more than classrooms. They need transit, cafes, libraries, apartments, music venues, parks, part-time work, and a sense that young people can participate in the life of the city. Montreal offers that mix. Its student population also feeds its creative and technological sectors, helping sustain the city's energy. In many cities, universities feel separate from urban life. In Montreal, students are woven into the city's neighborhoods, languages, and cultural rhythms. Sports are another major part of Montreal's identity, especially hockey. The city is home to several professional teams, but none is more iconic than the Montreal Canadiens of the National Hockey League. The Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup a record 24 times, making them one of the most storied franchises in the sport. In Montreal, hockey is not just a game played in an arena, it is part of civic memory. Generations of fans have connected the team's victories, legends, and rivalries to the city's sense of itself. The Canadiens represent history, pride, and continuity in a city that has changed dramatically over time. Even for people who are not devoted sports fans, the team's place in Montreal culture is difficult to ignore. What makes Montreal remarkable is not any single fact, not its population, not its festivals, not its language, not its mountain, not its Olympic history. It is the combination. Montreal is a major Canadian city with a French-speaking heart, a bilingual daily life, an island geography, a deep colonial history, a modern creative economy, and a global cultural presence. It was once Canada's commercial capital, and while that role changed, the city did not fade. Instead, it became something more layered, a place of universities and aviation diplomacy, video games and jazz festivals, hockey tradition and design recognition, old stone streets and modern industries. Montreal's power lies in contrast. It is proudly Quebec, unmistakably Canadian, deeply North American, and unlike anywhere else on the continent. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.